So a longer lens means you have a narrow field of view, which means you have a bigger picture of the sun in the frame. It's a bigger, chunkier sun, which is going to give us more detail, which is what we're after for the corona. The only trouble is that because it's a narrow field, you don't have a lot of leeway in your positioning. Like 1 degree off, and you won't have the sun in the frame. So you got to be very precise. The sun and the moon are moving through the sky. That's, the sun rises in the morning and sets at night. Well, what do you think happens to it all day? It's moving. It's moving from one side to the other. So it's clicking along at a pretty rapid pace. You don't think about it because you're just not paying too much attention to it. But actually, if you're like looking at it in a frame, quite close up, so it fills the frame, within a minute, it's already left the frame. So the alignment of your camera with this lens has to be very precise because the software that we're developing, it aligns it for you, but it's got to know its compass position and its angularity, its angle, its position, its orientation, and it knows it for the phone. It doesn't know it for the lens. So it knows that its lens is pointing in a very particular spot, but it doesn't know you've hooked another lens to it, and it doesn't know if it's off by 1 degree or not. So you need to be, if you build your mount, as I've done, you can see I built another one for this. If you build your mount, you have to try to be very precise so that that alignment is correct. Now that sounds like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? It's like tolerances of like 1 degree. It's like, you're not going to be able to get it perfect. I'm just saying that when you build it, try to be precise. Try to be good at it. Don't glue it on sideways. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. It's like it's either like straight or it's not straight, or like, oh, there's a bump in it, and it's like when you look at it, it's not like straight. In fact, this one looks a little bit off. Well, maybe not, but it seems to be that the way I built these lenses, they are within about 1.5 to 2 degrees from the alignment that the lens is on the camera. So the software is aligning the lens for the camera, but not for the long lens. So, and 1.5 degrees makes a difference. So we've actually built in a function in the app to do a calibration. So before the actual eclipse, you calibrate the camera system to where the sun is, and then it knows, it accommodates for that variation in the angle of the lens to the actual camera, and it allows for that, which is pretty cool. So, but yes, when you build these things, try to be as precise as you can be. It's as simple as that. So that's the sort of big version, which you mount on the tripod that you're going to use. You have to use a tripod for this. You're not going to point this at the sun handheld and try to take pictures of an eclipse. Anything you do with this photography, the camera needs to be stationary.